everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news on what is set to be a very big day. We've got the morning show. I'll be live very soon after that at midday for the Europa League draw. Then we've got the press conference at 1:30, obviously 8 o'clock show as well. So lots to get into today, so make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. Bottom right hand corner for that. But like I say, lots to get into. We've got updates on JONG. The door is still open, although it is shut. We'll talk about that. Also, the latest on what's going on with Antony. Some quite disturbing, and you know what? Whether you want Ronaldo to go or not, I do think we need, as a fan base, I think we need to be more unified, because I think although we disagree on team selections, etc., we are very unified on what we actually want, and I don't think we like the way the media deal with our players. I want to discuss that, and obviously we cannot stand the way our club is being run. So I think there's a lot of things that fans can be sort of unified against and call out. Please give me some good news. I'm a designer, a Liverpool collector's album for a well-known sticker company. Can life get any worse? Says Tidy Brown. So look, I'm just going to start off. I was going to start off with Antony, but I feel that you have to hit these stories head on. So let's just start off with this. This is from Rob Dawson in the ESPN. He says the Glazers are looking for investments to help fund the redevelopment of Old Trafford, which is categorically true. They can't afford to build Old Trafford, basically, so they're trying to get investment. This is the state of Manchester United under the Glazers. Yes, they can pull some levers to buy Antony to keep themselves in the post, but look, this is coming out from a lot of people, and I think there will be stories written about this when the transfer window closes. In fact, I'll be stunned if there aren't. But the way that Manchester United have adapted their transfer budget this summer is ridiculous. And loads of people in the industry are saying it's unbelievable how you're spending about 50 million quid and you're bidding for an Arnautovic and Rabiot, and then suddenly you're spending 60 on Casemiro and 80 on Antony. If that money was always there, there's no way you would wait till the last minute of the transfer window. If Man United had this extra 140 million that they found, they would have spent it back in June. This is a windfall to keep the Glazers in the job, and the industry knows it is. And what's also known is this. The Glazers cannot afford to redevelop Old Trafford. Our owners cannot afford to do it. They need investment to do it. They need to borrow more money to rebuild Old Trafford. What chance? I mean, look at what happened to Arsenal when they built the Emirates. They didn't really do well in the transfer market for a few years because they were repaying for that. Things are going to get a lot worse under the Glazers. They can convince you with Casemiro and Antony now, and maybe even De Jong, but they won't be doing it next summer, or the summer after that, or the summer after that, because they're going to have to borrow money to build Old Trafford. It's bad. It's bad where we're heading under the Glazers. So yeah, the Glazers are looking for investment, although Sir Jim Ratcliffe would be looking for a full takeover. There is no indication that the Glazers are looking to relinquish control, which we all know. And then Rob Dawson goes on to say that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has heard nothing from the Glazer family about his interest in Manchester United more than a week after announcing his interest in buying the club. And on a basic level, this is pure disgrace, because they're looking for an investment to build Old Trafford. They know somebody wants to buy Old Trafford, but buy Manchester United, and they won't speak to him. Which leads you to believe the same old stories with the Glazers. They will be looking for private investment firms from God knows where, who are not United fans, who are just going to give them the money on the basis that they earn that money back over the next 5 years. So basically, we're just going to end up with the Glazers finding the money from some investment who don't support United, who they're just basically going, give us 300 million quid, and over the next 10 years we'll turn it into 500 million quid for you. It's just soulless mercenary investment, and that's what the Glazers are, and that's what they'll look for. And that's why they don't want Sir Jim Ratcliffe's money, because he wants to buy Manchester United and make it a football club again. So look, if you are sat there being convinced about the Antonys and Casemiros of this world, you need to open your eyes up, because only 2 weeks ago we weren't even in for these players and we were going for cheap players. It's all about keeping control. And I believe that the Glazers want to keep control of this football club because they know full well that share price is going to go up with the next TV deal. They know the Super League is still bubbling away, and they know that football, especially the Premier League, is going to keep earning more and more money for them. That's, Man United might be in debt, but they're still going to be a key player in the Premier League, and they know that that money is going to keep rolling in. So they don't want to give it up. They're not going to give it up. They're not going to give it up without being forced out, and that is why we need a unified fan base, and that is why we need to keep doing what's happening. So yeah, I think that's the most important news today, because to be honest with you, the bid for Antony, I couldn't give a shit about the bid for Antony. The bid from Sir Jim Ratcliffe to buy Manchester United is the only bid I'm really interested on a personal note. But it is a Manchester United news show, and I can't dictate my opinion on everybody. I appreciate that. I have to bring you the news on the news show. So, in relation to Antony, we expect this deal to happen. Where are we at with the Antony deal? Effectively, what's happening with Antony is that he's on strike, he's hardly training, and he is effectively waiting to become a Manchester United player. Now, there is a bit of confusion as to why Manchester United... Are you thinking of bringing the chart show back, says Brad? Good idea. I'm going to write that down. It's a good idea. A good idea is a good idea. But in relation to Antony, there is this misconception that United have not put a bid in for Antony. Whether we've put the bid in yet or not is irrelevant. We may well have bid 85 million. We may not have bid 85 million. The point is, if we offered 85 million today, Ajax would say wait. And that's effectively what's happening. Cyclist Mark, watch out, says Low Fat Super Milk. Thanks for the super chat. So we are waiting on Ajax, whether we put the bid in or not. Said this last night. It's very, very obvious this is happening, and you know it's well known this morning that this is what's happening. Ajax are trying to sort out a replacement for Antony, and they know if they sell Antony before they do that, they'll find it more difficult. And they need to find out whether there is a replacement for Antony, because there is still the weird possibility that they will say he's not for sale. As I said last night, how you can turn down £80 million for a player who's worth £50 million, who doesn't want to be at your club. You'll never get that money again, and he doesn't want to be there. How is that beneficial to Ajax season next year? So whilst it's not impossible that he stays, I think Ajax do need to sell. I think they will sell, but they're not going to do it until they've sorted a replacement out. So there's talk of Antony flying in today, and here we go, and all that. And whilst that's not impossible, I actually think this won't happen till after the weekend, probably Tuesday next week. I think he will end up missing the Leicester game as well, and he's probably going to make his debut against Arsenal. I don't think we'll get this deal done for the Leicester game. I don't, which is a week, 6 days away. So again, United just not being able to get deals done quickly. And in this case, they won't get the deal done quickly because we're not in control. I can't think of a transfer we've been in control in. We're never in control. I mean, somebody in the chat will be able to tell me one, but we're never in control of any deal. Maybe Malacia we swooped in at the last minute, and you know we exerted our authority as Manchester United for a Feyenoord left back, but we weren't in control with Martinez. We've never been in control with De Jong. We're not in control with Rabiot. We weren't even in control with that, were we? And we're not in control with the Antony deal. Ajax will decide when they sell. So anybody who's expecting a bid or anything like that, it's being held up by the fact that Ajax are trying to sort something out first. Morning, Mark. Sorry for asking. I thought the Glazers are billionaires, says Mikael Roach. God, I can't even bother to talk about the Glazers. They've been here 17 years, mate. Whether they're billionaires, millionaires or not, they don't give a shit about this football club, and they don't want to run it like a football club. Tom, welcome to the members club. Mark, are we still in for a right back? Delo is simply just not good enough, says Emil. We're going to talk about the right back situation in a minute. Don't you think Ajax have screwed us around royally with the prices of Martinez and Antony, like their Eredivisie players, says Cooper. Mate, I said it last night. I'm not talking in euros, I'm talking in pounds. If we get Antony, we have spent £130 million on Martinez and Antony. I can't believe those numbers. I can't. I think Martinez is fantastic, and I think Antony's fantastic, but never in a million years are they £130 million as a pair. So, you know, we've massively overpaid. I don't care what. And some people will say, well, does it really matter if you get the players that you need? Well, of course it bloody matters. Because if we'd negotiated properly, we could have saved at £40–50 million and spent that on somebody else. I never understand people who go, I don't really care what we spend, it's not my money. But it matters, because instead of spending 130 million on those two, we should have actually spent about 85, 35 for Martinez and 50 for Antony. That means you've got another 45 million to spend. So it does matter what you pay if you overpay, because it's bad negotiations that means that you can't buy somebody else. Anyway, look, it says it in the title. Let's. This is probably the best. We've had this update, to be fair, but when it comes from David Ornstein, you know it's good. He says that Manchester United have never closed the door on Frankie de Jong deal, so the door remains open to a Frankie de Jong deal, but it's extremely unlikely to be happening. I think United are probably realistic about that now. Most probable scenario is him staying at Barcelona. So if some people are saying that's it, it's over. It's not. It's not over. De Jong or nothing, support from Australia, says Tom. It's not over because the door is still open, because United won't close the door. What I have been told is that United can't afford De Jong anymore, which is absolutely crazy. So if Barcelona said this week, we now want to sell De Jong, I still think United would try and do it, but I don't know whether they can. They've moved on. Now, some people say that's a good idea, but if we've moved on and then he becomes available, I don't know. But if he stays at Barcelona, De Jong gets what he wants, doesn't he? And Man United have been mugged off. The problem I see with Antony is he's missed so much training and games at Ajax. He's going to need a lot of time to get back. Yeah, it's not ideal, Lee. It's not ideal. It's far from ideal. Awesome Tool says, you say Antony has to start, but what if Rashi and Sancho are in form? Mate, you don't spend £80 million on a player and not pick them. This is exactly what Solskjaer did last year, and it was a fucking stupid mistake. You don't spend £75 million on Sancho and sit him on the bench, and you don't spend £80 million on Antony and sit him on the bench. You do what Pep does. You get your new signings in the team. That's what you do. If you spend that amount of money, you put him in the team. He did it with Grealish last year. I know Grealish fell out of the team, but he started off with him in the team. So yeah, look, the door's open to Frankie de Jong. We're getting most of the UK outlets are saying that this is very unlikely to happen now. I get a feeling, and I might be completely wrong here, but I get a feeling that nobody is saying it's off. Nobody's saying it's off. Why can't David Ornstein or Laurie Whitwell or Simon Stone say the deal is off? It's all very unlikely. To me, reading between the lines, that means it's not off. That means there's still a chance. And I almost think it might be Glazer-nomics, PR Neil Ashton time, where it's like you sort of think De Jong's off, and then next week, De Jong, and everyone goes, what a deal, what a deal. You know, they've spent all summer on this. Maybe we're just being played a little bit to make us think it's not going to happen, and then when it happens, they go, oh my God, Murta madness, and Arnold's the man. You know, we might just be being played in that sense. So I personally think that this deal is still likely to happen, and I think we're just being played a bit because nobody's saying it's off. Nobody's saying deal off. They're all going highly unlikely, but not United will never close the door. And if you actually read it like below, United will never close the door for the Frankie de Jong deal, but it's extremely unlikely. So it's like it reads to me United are fighting to the death. They'll keep going. You know, they've had their arm chopped off, but they're still fighting. And if we get it, oh, what a battle, what a win. You know, Solskjaer's won it at the end. I feel like that might be what we're trying to do here, because obviously we're all part of a game here where the Glazers are desperately trying to make out that they're competent. What better way to do that than make you think, oh, there's a little chance of De Jong. The Glazers have delivered De Jong. So we'll see what happens with that. Antony comes, Ronaldo leaves, our window finishes, says George. Well, look, you know, moving on there. I mean, I don't know whether anybody read this last night. I mean, it's sort of about Ronaldo, but I just absolutely disgusted by it. And look, I'm not going to... People will say, well, it's the Sun, it's the Sun, it's the Sun. But I've always said this. I've always said this, that Neil Custis in the Sun... Look, nobody likes the Sun, everybody knows that, but Neil Custis in the Sun has been a Manchester United correspondent for years, and some of the things he gets are correct. But whether this is correct or not, what I'm about to bring you, what does it add to the conversation on a Friday before a football match when we've won against Liverpool, we're trying to sign players, we're trying to get our owners out, and surprise, surprise, it's another anti-Ronaldo story. You've got Casemiro, right? Just before we go into this, let me just tell you what Casemiro said on Ronaldo. I hope he stays with us because he's a great player. He gives you a lot of goals. He's a winner and he is a leader, right? That's from our new signing, Casemiro, who's played with Ronaldo and, you know, loves Ronaldo, basically. You've then got Cristiano Ronaldo was brutally axed in front of the Man United squad during a 2-hour summit meeting. I fail to see, and I will call it out. Mark Sky Sports said De Jong's in for Liverpool. No, they're not, Ronald. I'm not talking about Liverpool and De Jong. It's a load of bollocks. Liverpool can't afford the wages of De Jong. Simple as that. They won't pay 350 grand a week. So if Liverpool fans think they're getting De Jong, I mean, look, I'm probably about to get clipped up here, but Liverpool will have to blow their transfer budget to do it, and wages. Does United need De Jong, says Marcus? Do you need to use your arms to swim when you're drowning? Why title the video Antony flying in today? Says Aidan KD. There's a question mark next to it, mate. There you go. Poor old Aidan. He's woken up on the wrong side of the bed, and clearly he needs to go and study basic English. You know what a question mark is? Antony flying in today? Question mark. A lot of people are talking about it happening today. We answer the question. Simple as that. Aiden, get a fucking life, mate. Put a smile on your face. Anyway, going back to this, I don't see what this brings to the conversation. Cristiano Ronaldo was brutally axed in front of the Man United squad during a 2-hour summit meeting, okay? And it moves on like this. Erik ten Hag was particularly angry last week after Cristiano Ronaldo claimed he would reveal truths regarding him soon. Erik ten Hag wants Ronaldo out, with a number of players feeling that Ronaldo's attitude and mood is affecting the team's morale. But I get to the point with this where I sort of go, all this does is create a distraction in the fan base and toxicity in the fan base. Basically, I see it for what it is. There's a Glazer out movement. There's a frustration with the way the club's being run. What comes out in the media? An explosive attack on Cristiano Ronaldo again, which we've had for the last 2 months. And I say shame on the journalists who write this shit, because whether it's true or not, and I very much doubt it is, it's just toxic. It's complete and utter toxic. And let's pretend it is true. Let's pretend it is true, right? Let's pretend it is true, yeah? Who's leaked that? Who's leaking that? You've even got information like this. You've even got information like this. Marcus Rashford is understood to have asked Erik ten Hag when he would be playing as a striker, as he told him that that was the plan in pre-season. Ten Hag told him he'd get his chance against Liverpool. So Marcus Rashford, who's been crap for 18 months, can stand up in a big dressing room and say, "Why aren't you playing me up front?" "Oh, don't worry, Marcus, I'll play you there on Monday." But Ronaldo, player of the year and one of the best strikers in the world, you're on the bench, mate. I'm fed up of you moaning. Can you imagine that scenario? Where is the information coming from? Is it pure fiction, or is it just somebody leaking from the dressing room? Either way, it's just, it doesn't do us any good, does it? Like, this fan base is battling to try and stay united about the Glazers out. And we're getting more leaks from the dressing room about Ronaldo again. And I'm like, I'm just not interested in it. And I see it for what it is. We were bidding for Rabiot and Arnautovic, and now we've bought Casemiro and Antony because someone wants to buy the club. We're now getting stories about Ronaldo being toxic again. I think this football club, or people in it, have used Ronaldo for the last 2 months to deflect from their own incompetence. Because every time we have a bad result, or every time people start talking about transfers or Glazers out, there's a story like this that comes out about Ronaldo. And I think this is why Ronaldo's pissed off, to be honest. I think he knows he's been scapegoated by this club. And that's probably why he wants to reveal what's been going on. But I just don't get... I mean, that is an absolute joke. Marcus Rashford's not even a centre-forward. He probably could be a top-class left-forward if he can get his head right and stay confident and consistent. He's not even a bloody... I don't know why he thinks he's a centre-forward. If he was playing against Liverpool every week with long balls and pace, he'd be fine. But what's he going to do when he's got to play with his back to goal and link up the play, and he can't run in behind? And he's got to go get on the end of headers and, you know, make movements in the box and get on the front post and stuff like that. Martial is a centre-forward. Cristiano Ronaldo is a centre-forward. Marcus Rashford is a make-do centre-forward. He's a very good left-sided attacker when he's on his game, but he's not a bloody centre-forward anyway. Why does Rashford want to play up front when his best position is as a left-forward and he's got it? I just think the whole story just stinks of somebody leaking stuff out who's not happy. And again, you're back in the world of who in the dressing room is leaking this stuff who's not very happy at the moment. And my mind wanders to 4 or 5 players straight away that it probably is, but I'm not here for that because I don't think it helps. But it's just bollocks as per usual. Sorry, I meant to say they should sell a percentage to Sir Jim. Yeah, well, they should, Mikhail Roach, but they don't want to. Just wanted to shout out, you're going for Goldbridge videos. Don't feel like they get attention they deserve. If you want to watch Mark bounce around random topics and life experiences, to give them a watch, says M44. Thank you very much, mate. A lot of people went off and watched it last night, so I really appreciate that. Going for Goldbridge, out every week. Some people aren't aware of it. It's a bit of a low-key thing. I quite like it. If you want to watch it, give it a watch. Philman says, this guy will defend Ronaldo in heaven. But mate, I'm not... No. Look, I like Ronaldo. I like De Gea. Hate me for it. Hate me for respecting and being loyal to people who've given me some of the greatest memories as a Man United fan. Look, some of you might not be old enough to remember the late noughties. I am. You know, I lived it. I loved it. Ronaldo was just unfucking believable. So, yeah, I'm quite loyal to people who've done something in this shirt. Sorry, it matters. You know, it's why this football club remains great, even though it's been shit for 10 years, because we live off what the football club is. Whether you're talking about the Busby Babes, 68s, Sir Matt Busby, Brian Robson, Sir Alex, the Class 92, Roy Keane, Ronaldo, Rooney. These players have done things in a Man United shirt. So I will always remain loyal to Cristiano Ronaldo because I've seen him bleed for this football club. I've seen him win for this football club. So I'll always stay loyal to Ronaldo. I'm not going to not be loyal to Ronaldo. Sorry. If you want to stab a player in the back because, you prefer Martial or whatever else, that's up to you. That's your opinion. That's the whole point of it. You will never change me on Ronaldo. It won't change. Because you can't change history. You can't change the fact that for 3 years he made us one of the greatest clubs in the world. He was absolutely fantastic. So I won't change that. And actually, last season he was our Player of the Year and top scorer. So, pretty much in a United shirt, Cristiano Ronaldo's never let us down. So, of course I'm going to stay loyal to him. But that's my opinion. You should have your own opinion. Calling me toxic because I want to be loyal to a player who's actually done something for this football club, I don't think that's toxic. I think it's loyal. Might be stupid, but it's not toxic. What's toxic is this. This is toxic. Leaks from the dressing room about Ronaldo yet again. Whether it's true or not, it shouldn't be coming out. It's just toxic all the time from that dressing room. And look, the story could be completely and utterly made up, but what I'm saying is it's about the third time in a week and a half we've had leaks from the dressing room. Last weekend, people were saying, oh, they're not happy with the training of Ten Hag. So, that's toxic. That's the toxic thing. There are selfish prats in that dressing room who are egotistically only bothered about themselves. They're not team players. It's about them because they've got brands and things to sort out. That's the toxicity in Manchester United. And it remains and it stays from the top of the club. And ultimately, all paths lead back to the Glazers. The way the Glazers run this club is that they promote greed and selfishness, and that is why that squad is greedy and selfish, because they've got the ear of the board who are greedy and selfish and feed it back to the Glazers, the club from top to bottom. So basically we always come back to the same thing. The only way to rescue this football club is to get it back in the hands of people who actually care about it and are determined to win on the pitch and don't want players to pick and stay because they've got massive Twitter accounts. Welcome to the Members Club. If Ten Hag actually treated Player of the Season Ronaldo like that, but Rashford, who has been rubbish for years, great message. Ten Hag is weak, says Majak. It won't be true, mate. I have a feeling Jones is the one that leaks. Looked bitter for a long time. Well, I don't think it is Jones, Chelsea, because Phil Jones is injured again. Ended the season not injured, come back injured again. Hi Mark, love the United stand. We need it as United supporters, says Grace. And also, welcome to the Members Club, Iffy. Right, anyway, there are still a few more things to talk about on the morning show. What else did I want to talk about? We've spoken about De Jong, we've spoken about that. Yes, I don't know, I haven't got it to put up on the screen. Welcome to the Members Club, Rejwan. I don't actually have it to put up on the screen, but I don't know whether anybody saw it yesterday. There was a story yesterday about, from the Telegraph, that Manchester United still want to sign 4 more players. One of them's an attacker, which you would assume is Antony, because we've not signed him yet. One of them's a goalkeeper, which you would assume is going to be Dubravka, because he is the goalkeeper we're looking to get from Newcastle on loan. Another midfielder, which is interesting, because we've already signed Casemiro, so I believe we do need another midfielder. I don't actually believe we'll buy one, but maybe that's De Jong, maybe. And a right back. Now, the right back situation is interesting, because we've been looking at Dest at Barcelona, apparently, but Dest has now been ruled out. Then we've been looking at Meunier. Well, good luck with that, because that's Borussia Dortmund and they don't want to sell. So I think, are we now heading back round to a situation where we buy a right back, or are we now going to be heading back to a situation where we don't buy a right back? Well, it all comes back to a couple of things, really. It comes back to Wan-Bissaka and whether we can sell him, and we spoke about this a couple of days ago. We can sell Wan-Bissaka. There's an offer of about £15 million on the table, but United are terrified of taking it because they paid 50 3 years ago. But as I said, I don't think you're going to ever get better than £15 million. So if we sell Wan-Bissaka, we will buy a right back, unless we try and use Brandon Williams, which, if we're trying to build a future, I don't think Brandon Williams is good enough, to be honest. He might surprise us, I hope he does, but I just don't. I think Brandon Williams reminds me of Scott McTominay in the midfield. He'd probably get away with being a squad player, but he's not really going to push the low, and McTominay's not going to push Casemiro, is he? So I think Dumfries would be perfect, says Jonathan. And that is the player that Erik ten Hag's always wanted. I think some people forget, but we know what Ten Hag's list of players was back in May. It was Nunez up front, it was Antony, it was De Jong, Timber, Malacia, Eriksen and Dumfries. Obviously we didn't get some of those players, but some of them we did. Dumfries has always been the #1 choice for Manchester United. I'm getting the sense that we probably won't get Dumfries, whether he's the #1 target or not. I think Ronaldo haters have got a short memory, says Imran. I think Dumfries is going to be a difficult deal to do because Inter have always wanted good money, and United just haven't been able to raise that money through sales. I mean, I sit here absolutely unable to do this next summer. If I'm honest with you, I can't sit here next May and say we can raise £70 million from sales, because I've done it for 2 summers now and we haven't done it. I think if we raise the money from sales, we probably could go for Dumfries, but I think ultimately Ten Hag's in a difficult situation because he needs a right back, and we're probably going to do a Telles. And what I mean by that is Telles was about the 4th choice left back that Solskjaer wanted, and it showed. And I think we're going to buy a right back that's not the right back that Ten Hag wants, but we need to buy a right back, or we'll keep Wan-Bissaka. I can't see us getting Dumfries anymore. Mark, would you rather Antony and Tielemans, Lema or Gakpo and De Jong? I would prefer the latter, says Hazib. Yeah, Hazib, I probably would go with you on that. If United win Batman Begins, the Glazers would be Rutger Hauer's character wanting to break Wayne Enterprise up by selling it off piece by piece for his own profit. So Jim is obviously Batman, says Luke82. Amazing how many fans have short memories. Ronaldo lost his newborn son last year, came back against Arsenal, scores and was our best on the ground. Some of those pretenders in the dressing room should wake up, says Icky. Well, each to their own. Everyone can make their own choice. That's up to them, isn't it? But I think with welcome to the Members Club, Owen. I look back at the start of the summer, and Henderson should have been sold for 25 million. Bay we should have got 15 million pounds for. Telles we should have got 10 for. Pereira we did get 10 for. Brandon Williams we should have got 15 for. Twansebi should have been gone as well, and Wan-Bissaka we should have got about another 24. So I don't know how much that adds up to, but it's about 70 million quid, maybe a little bit more. We've raised 10. Bay's gone on loan, Henderson's gone on loan, Telles has gone on loan, Williams is still here, Twansebi is still here, Wan-Bissaka is still here. We've raised £10 million, and we easily should be raising 60, 70 million from those players. Anthony, welcome to the members clubs. And Telles came. Bay should stay. Maguire should be sold. I mean, look, Dane says Henderson should be our first choice goalkeeper. Look, maybe that will be the case next summer. I mean, it's not over. You know, it isn't over. But my point is, he's not our first choice goalkeeper because Ten Hag chose De Gea. We should have sold him. We should have sold Henderson. We've already loaned him to Sheffield United and been down this road of, oh, you've done really well, come back and fight with De Gea. We should have sold him. He shouldn't be playing for Nottingham Forest doing well. We should have sold him, or he should be at Manchester United. We've done this before. So whether you're a pro Henderson or pro De Gea person, it matters not. The situation isn't great. If you want Henderson to be Man United's goalkeeper, well, he should be. He should not be playing for Nottingham Forest on loan. That should not be happening. And if he's not Man United's goalkeeper, we should have cashed in. The loan deals are embarrassment. Basically, a loan is an L. It's an acceptance that you are shit at your job and you can't sell players. So people will go, well, I like Henderson on loan because then he can come back. But why has he got to come back? He is what he is. If he's good enough, he should be playing. If he's not good enough, we should have sold him. He shouldn't be on loan. Eric Bay should not be on loan because you can't sell him. Telles should not be on loan because you can't sell him. Like Brandon Williams, Twansebi, Wan-Bissaka should not be in the first team squad training when they're not part of Ten Hag's plans. They should have been sold. It's not the players' fault, but they're not part of the plans. We've had an absolutely abysmal summer when it comes to sales. I don't understand how fans back these players over Ronaldo, like the squad has won the Champions League and Premier League. They struggle to win, says Akil. And Anthony, thank you very much for the super chat there. So, look, I'm not going to dwell around too long today because I'm back live in just over an hour because we've got the Europa League draw. But, yeah, I don't... Ultimately, we've got a very interesting press conference coming up with Erik ten Hag at 1:30 because, again, he's going to face questions about Ronaldo. On the Sporting Lisbon thing, I'd say at the moment, just watch this space. A lot of people are saying it is happening and a lot of people are saying it's absolutely not happening. So we'll have to wait and see on that. I certainly think that if Erik ten Hag gets asked about Ronaldo at 1:30 and says he's not for sale, he's part of my plans, he has to be staying. Because Eric can't be like that bloody Ajax manager who's just talking out his arse. He's got to say, if he says it, it's got to happen. You might get away with it for Ajax. You might be able to say he's not for sale and then they sell him for big money and you go, well, it's big money. But at Man United, as a manager, you cannot say a player's not for sale and then sell them. So let's see what he says at lunchtime about the Ronaldo Sporting rumours. And obviously we've got the Europa League draw. Oh my God. All I'm going to say is tune in at 12 o'clock and have a look at the pots. What shit we're going to get. God, I don't mind the... Well, I don't like the Europa League. It gets better at around the semi-final stage. But the group stage, oh my God. I nearly cried. You felt my voice break. Oh my God. The group stage is pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. It's a waste of time. If you didn't get through it, you could go into the bloody Conference League. So, look. I don't know what the advantage is. There isn't one. Although they said we'll have a more difficult summer next year, do you think that is a positive as the pressure on them will surely be more bigger, says Hazib? No, because they'll probably go and leverage more debt. I personally believe Hazib. I will say this, right? How have Manchester United gone from, and I know it's been said a lot, but it's a question that nobody can answer. How have United gone from a transfer budget that looked like it was under £100 million, bidding for Arnautovic for 13 million and Rabiot for 15 million. How can you go from those sort of deals and then a week later buy Casemiro for 60 and bid 80 for Antony and pay 350 grand a week and 200 grand a week? How can you do that? It's been done, in my belief, because the club, they don't want to sell the club and they're under pressure to sell the club. So I feel that they're leveraging debt again. Where's this money come for Antony? It's come because they want to keep hold of the club. But the Glazers never just go, there's £100 million, don't worry about it. There's always a kickback. That 100 million for Antony, there'll be a kickback on that. Well, we just won't spend it next summer. So anything we do now is short-termism. And we'll pay the price in the future because that's what happens with the Glazers. There's always a bigger price to pay. And they will loan, they will borrow, they will do what they've been doing for 17 years. So yeah, get excited about Antony. He's a good player, but we will pay the price for this in the future. And remember, Ten Hag may be a great manager, and some of these players we're bringing in may have the right mentality, but that dressing room is still riddled with problems, and most of that squad is as well. So we're not suddenly going to go on a 20-game winning run. There will be cracks. There will be papering of those cracks. And the Glazers will still be in charge. Right, I will see you again in just over an hour's time when we have the Europa League draw. Then I'm going to be live at the press conference. So make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, so you get your notifications. Easy to do. And we'll be back for the Europa League draw. And I'm not wearing a suit. I'd probably wear a suit if it was the Champions League. For the Europa League draw, I feel like I should wear a vest and pants. It's not that great. But apparently we've had a bit of an update just coming in on Memphis Depay. Let me just have a quick look. They are considering Memphis Depay apparently from Samuel Lucas, so we'll have to wait and see if that actually comes to fruition. But thanks everyone for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon. Back in about an hour. Still live. Click the wrong button. Still live.